So is now the time to go all in on crypto, or is this just a massive bull trap? I'm going to try and answer that in this video. Before we have a look at the TA, what's the sentiment? Now, I know I joke about this a lot, but a lot of the influencers like Becca, for example, like daily bull posting for literally years now. And this is getting people completely wrecked. And still, I'm pretty sure he's got massive bags of like Ethereum and a few other select altcoins that he keeps shilling. Nothing wrong with that. If he wants to shill, that's completely fine. But the guy's not making any decisions based on any kind of even half decent TA. It's just hopium, and it's a little bit retarded what he thinks could happen with Ethereum. Because, well, let's just jump on the Ethereum chart for just a minute. With any of these charts, guys, all you have to do is zoom out. Just zoom out. Like, go onto a daily chart of Ethereum and have a look at that chart and tell me if there's anything looking bullish at all about that chart. That is a horrendously bad chart. So bearish. Like, this all-time high is November 2021. We didn't get there. Whole move looks corrective, which means we are, destined to return back to the 800 levels. So don't know where he's been buying his Ethereum and how down he is in 6 figures, 7 figures, who knows. But that is a straight line down without even a bounce. Like, any idiot can see that. These are not good coins to be trading. To think this turns and then just goes to 10,000 for no reason at all is like, it's pretty stupid, to be honest with you. I can't think of any other way to describe it. And, even if they printed money into oblivion, which they can't even do right now for many, many reasons, which I'll get onto later in the video. Even if they did, there's millions of crypto coins that need pumping. Like, it's not like liquidity is going to go mostly to Ethereum, is it? But anyway, I'm on a tangent here. Let's start on Solana. Basic TA. What you want to do is zoom out, obviously, like I said before, but we're going to go on a 4-hourly. And what we're going to do is add a couple of indicators, momentum indicators. So we're going to add MACD. And the first thing I want you to look at is, as we move lower and we make lower lows, what you're looking for is what are the moves showing up on momentum indicators. And especially on the MACD, you're getting some divergence. Divergence suggests that there could be a bounce, obviously. And sometimes you can get double divergence or you can get triple. So you can get 3 lower lows on the actual price action and then 3 higher lows on the momentum oscillators like RSI and MACD. Now, if we have a look at this chart of Solana, which went from 294, literally straight line all the way down, it looks like a very impulsive move down without any bounces along the way. It's due a bounce anyway. That doesn't mean that it's going to turn around and go to $1,000 like people will tell you on crypto Twitter or on YouTube. Like, it's idiotic. Like, the problem is the price has gotten so low now that we've broken a lot of support levels that this initial structure, this is what I keep saying, the initial structure is kind of complete. So you'll have to wait now, like many, many months for things to kind of reaccumulate, calm down, and then maybe we go on some next leg in the next cycle. Not now, in my opinion, because the price has gone too low now. Price had to stop here around 200, 190, 200, and then do its final parabolic run like that. Much like charts you've seen before. Just look back at the chart. You see price pulls back and then does that final parabolic move. It doesn't completely die off and break all of the support levels. That's what it's doing here. That's obviously very clear, in my opinion, that we're kind of done with this whole move. And this whole move, that was the cycle this time. And think about it like, so that's TA. This is one aspect is TA. Now think about it in terms of sentiment analysis, social analysis, or when we look about fundamental analysis, how many people are using the blockchain, Solana, how many people are trading meme coins on Solana, stuff like that. Clearly the buzz for all of that was 2024. With a peak towards the end of 2024, a crazy number of trading January 2025 when it was AI meme coins on Solana. Do you really think that's suddenly going to turn around and we're going to get twice as many people trading meme coins in the next few months as there were in, quarter 4 of 2024 and the beginning parts of 2025? Not going to happen. It's always going to be less now. That was the peak. That was the peak interest. And that graph you can see anywhere. Go on Google Trends or even YouTube Analytics, any influencer. You can find all these charts on crypto Twitter very easily. And you'll see that. You'll see that we peaked there already in terms of interest. Interest peaked already. Nobody would care about Solana anywhere near as much as they did in November, December, just gone. That's my point. And if they don't care as much, why would that explain a Solana price of $1,000? It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, come on, like with this, with crypto coins, it's time to stop messing about and just kind of understand the obvious here. You can argue the point with me all you want to, but the price action's telling you everything you need to know. So it's arguments in vain, in my opinion. So what is this divergence? Well, divergence suggests that there could be a bounce. So what do? We need to go on to a smaller time frame. So let's go on to 15-minute. Now, I discussed this in my last video. Every time we move up, we need to move up in impulsive moves. It can't be corrective. And this initial move looked choppy and horrible at best. So this could all have been potentially a correction. But let's somehow argue that this is a 5-wave move. Even then, this could just be a 1-to-1 ABC. Now, how will we know? If price holds here and turns, then we could be in a 3rd wave. But then we would need to have a very, very strong next move up. It's looking less and less likely, in my opinion. In fact, the tariff pause pump that we saw yesterday is faded on a lot of these crypto coins, which is not a good sign at all. So keep that in mind. Now, obviously corrections can linger on. You can get double ABCs, double zigzags. So there, and then another double zigzag, and we get to 140, 150, and then we completely dump to newer lows. That can happen too. But my opinion, this still all looking very, very corrective to me. And you see it more, you see it clearer on Ethereum. Because when you have a look at Ethereum on a 15-minute, not only has the move almost entirely faded, so bearish for Ethereum. And even this, look, what is that? Like any of you have done any tiny bit of TA, that's a flag, like that's flagging pattern. The pole is downwards, the strong trend impulse is downwards, flag sideways, we continue the pole action, basically, and we continue to dump. Now, the thing is, off the lows here, if you got a nice clean 5-wave move, then you could say, all right, we're starting something here, something new. But what did we get? We got a 1, 2, we were starting to get a 3. All we had to do here was go 4, 5. Never did. We just stopped at a 3. And then it just looked like a bog standard 3-wave corrective move. Now, like I said, corrections can go on sideways. So either we can dump, clear the lows now, sometimes better to reset as soon as possible, or again, it's just endless chop for the next few weeks on all of these crypto coins while the stock market kind of works itself out. Now, the thing is, the stock market, you saw it went up a lot yesterday, like many, like 8-9%. This is not, you get very strong bear market rallies. And this is the other thing you have to understand. So when the trend is down, so if we zoom out here on, still on ETH, we zoom out to a 2-hourly here, you can see the trend is very, very strongly down. A lot of people are shorting the market, like with a lot of money, a lot of leverage, because it's the obvious trade. The trend is down. So every time we get a bounce, we sell off, bounce, sell off, bounce, sell off. There's no reason for that to change. Probability says, just probability. Trading is all about probability. Probability says if this bounces, it's going to dump again. That's probability. Now, yeah, obviously the ship can turn at some point, but there's 1,000,001 reasons why it's not going to. Even, from all analysis, fundamental, social, sentiment, what Trump's doing, the Fed's position, situation, inflation situation, millions of reasons why this is not going to turn around. Where we are in terms of the crypto cycle, where Bitcoin is right now in terms of price action, loads of reasons, right? But even then, yeah, absolutely it could turn around. And you need to see a lot more confirmation of that. But probability-wise, if you're a betting person and you're doing a coin flip on this, like, oh, you're just asking somebody, where's Ethereum going to be in a few weeks, higher or lower? Probability states it's probably going to be lower. And to be honest, at these lows on Ethereum, there isn't even really any significant divergence to speak of. But because you get a short squeeze, where suddenly a lot of people get caught out, price can suddenly burst to the upside. And it could be quite extreme. That's why yesterday in crypto, you saw some like Render and a few other coins move 20%. It's because they're so heavily shorted, not because they're strong coins. I repeat, it's because they're so heavily shorted, not because they're strong coins. You can get lucky and catch one of these 20% moves, but a lot of the time they will be faded anyway. You'd be better off waiting for it to go up 20% and then shorten the thing, actually. This is SUI, is one of the stronger coins over the last kind of 6 to 12 months. Now this move up, if you click on trend-based fib extension here, the first leg up, the second leg up, what do we see? Exact 1-to-1. kind of have to be careful with one-to-one relationships because they can be ABCs. Now, again, what can happen sometimes, click on fib retracement here, is this whole first zigzag can correct to the 0.5 level, which is around $2 here. And then we can get another zigzag like that. But then this is just a larger flag that eventually, what does it do? Dumps all the way back down below 171 again. And then we go again. And this happens again and again. So how do you trade this? Like I said, if you're a short-term trader, like I am, and you're looking for opportunities, long and short, like I don't care. Like if there's an opportunity long, I'll take the opportunity long. But the prevailing trend is down. So if we're going to dump from here, look for little pullbacks upwards, and then look to trade it to the downside, or wait for all of this chop to be fully over and for there to be a new paradigm, and honestly just sit on the sidelines. You know, most people in crypto, they don't want to hear that. They always want to be in some sort of coin. But it's not wise to be in any coin right now because they're really bad. Like, there aren't, on any of my watch list, there aren't any coins that I would be like, oh, that's a really good coin. Literally, out of all the established older meme coins, there's only like Fart coin that's showing any kind of strength. Nothing else, ironically. So either you do short-term meme coin trading, which I do as well, or short-term altcoin kind of leverage trading, but don't touch anything else. Just stay on the sidelines. The problem with Bitcoin now is because it's kind of mass market, and you've got, you know, a sailor as well with a massive position on a lot of leverage himself, that if this gets down, like, you know, below 70 and stuff like that, it can start causing a lot of problems. So Bitcoin itself is not looking great either. And like I said, these are heavily correlated with the stock market, heavily correlated. If the Nasdaq is dumping, there's no way in hell crypto is going up. Don't care what people say, what kind of decoupling nonsense. There's nothing in the data that proves that point. Literally to the day, we follow the Nasdaq in terms of cryptocurrency. And it's worse than that. When Nasdaq is up, crypto is down. When Nasdaq is down, crypto is down. We're always down. Like most altcoins, like look at Ethereum over the last 12 months on a daily basis. How many days out of the 365 days was it actually up even? Like, you're not by holding these shit coins, you're not even trading the probabilities in your favor. You may as well hand all your money to your grandma and tell her to just randomly pick coins than holding some of these altcoins. It doesn't make sense. And on the Nasdaq for a minute, it's a problem now because, again, if you've been watching my previous videos, I said all the other pullbacks were 8%, 10%. We went through all of them over the last few years. What are we down to now? This is different. Like, this already dropped 25%. This is something major going on. This is a trend shift, trend change. That whole move from the November lows is resetting. That's one thing. But in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think we're resetting something a lot larger. Possibly the entire move from the great financial crisis is now finally over and correcting. And like I said, there's so many reasons that can potentially support this now. There's many reasons against this too, saying, you know, we might still push up for one leg higher. Who knows? Like, you know, we don't need, as traders, you don't need to predict that far forward. But you just need to look at the facts in front of you as it is. Like, clearly there's something broken now and some major shifts. And because the trends changed, don't assume that any bounce is the low and yeah, we're back up and running again. And, you know, nothing's changed. There are very strong arguments to the fact that this high we saw on the Nasdaq in Feb and in the S&P as well could be a high that remains potentially for a very long time. Now, I'm saying that literally only days and weeks after it's happened, but I've been following the markets very long time, and I know that you know crypto market moves in cycles. It doesn't matter the exact time period, whether it's a 4-year cycle or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. If the cycle is done now, then yeah, we're in for a big correction, as we know anyway. Same as the bear market we saw all of 2022. So let's say we're in for that now. But what if it's something more major even than that? Nothing changes the fact that most of the altcoins you will see, they didn't even have a bull market this time. Their bull market was last cycle. They are way below all-time highs. So just be careful out there. Learn how to short-term trade, day trade. Like, those things are really good right now. Why is that? This is why. This is the VIX. volatility index. And this is for the S&P as an example. The volatility in the market is extremely high. And with Trump at the helm, it's going to remain elevated for a while because all sorts of random comments and news articles, get thrown around every single day, including a lot of fake news that seems to pump all of the stock market many percent. Nobody cares anymore. Everything's trading like a meme coin now. This is a good thing. If you're a trader, this is a good thing. VIX being very high is a good thing because you have opportunities all of the time. If the market's very calm and not doing anything, you can't make any money. If price keeps going up 10%, down 10% in the stock market, which is crazy. Like, that's crazy moves in stock market. This is a potential to make a lot of money every single day. And you don't need to hold positions for long, just short periods of time. Personally, I use Mexi, first link in description below. And every single day I'm doing scalp trades on Mexi and it's going really well. Second link in description, comprehensive TA program that shows you exactly how to set all of this up if you're interested. And funnily enough, altcoins, when it comes to trading opportunities, they're actually way better than the stock market. Get a lot of the same moves happening on a daily basis, a lot of fake outs just when the US markets are opening, and you can easily set up long and short trades. Some really good opportunities. And like I said, it doesn't matter which way the market is moving. If it's volatile and you get an altcoins moving up 10% or down 10 or 20% in a day, then you can definitely set up some trades in terms of risk reward. That's it for this one. Thanks for listening.